Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. And every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh, God, how I need you.
So we're going to do something a little bit fun this morning. We're going to have some witness. We're going to have some people sharing their faith with us. But we're going to do it in a kind of a fun and a relaxed way. We're going to invite them up here. They're going to sit in these chairs. You can call me Johnny Stevens, Johnny Carson, or whatever you want to call me. And we're going to interview them. We're going to talk to them and listen to their stories of faith, and then give them an opportunity to give their response to what the bishop had to say last night. Please welcome a wonderful couple from my parish in Eastern Passage from St. Andrews, Rick and Leah Thibault. These guys are personal heroes of mine, as you'll find out probably why in a minute. But I think testimony is a powerful way, like the bishop said last night, to preach our gospel or continue preaching the gospel. So let's hear these guys' testimony. Welcome, guys. Have a seat. Who does the most talking? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I haven't heard Rick on the phone.
All right, so welcome, guys, Rick and Leah. I already said you're from St. Andrews, so I took away the easy part. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background in faith? We want to focus mostly today on your family and everything that's happened there. But, just give us a little bit about yourselves, each of you, and then we'll talk about your boys, and we'll go from there.
All right. Hi, my name is Rick Thibault. I guess our family started probably when we first got married, but we sort of struggled a little bit with having children of our own. It was a little bit of a struggle. We were trying to have children for, almost 10 years. And we just waited on the Lord and see what happened. We've gone to different things, conferences and things, and asked the Lord for prayers and asked people that we knew for prayers and things. And I know myself, I was sort of hesitant on different areas of receiving children at first. And after a while, the Lord said, there's different ways that we can receive children. So I opened myself up to what the Lord had planned, and we started the adoption process.
As Rick mentioned, we had struggled for about 9 years to have children, and one day in particular, I was moping around the house saying, "Woe is me, I don't have a child," and God said, "Go to your room." So I listened. I did go to my room. I opened up my Bible, and I went face down plunk on the bed. My forehead hit the Bible, and 2 Kings came to mind. So I went to the book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, and I was reading about all the miracles that Prophet Elisha was doing. And then it came to this point where a woman was struggling with having a child, with conceiving. And the prophet spoke to her and said, "About this time next year, you will hold a son in your arms." So I wrote the date, February 28th, 2008, in my Bible. And then we went through the adoption process, and I clung to that word, and it was very strong in my heart. And then there was one point where I was doubting, but then upon reading the visitation of Mary with her cousin Elizabeth, she said, "Happy is she who believes what the Lord has said to her," something along those lines. So I just kept that in my heart. And then we were approved for the adoption process, and on March 10th, 2009, we held our son Liam, our adopted son, in our arms for the first time. It was a year and 10 days after the Lord spoke to me about holding a son in our arms.
But the Lord's kind of funny, right? Because you didn't just hold one son in your hands. What happened after that?
Well, we went from nothing to 2 kids and a minivan in 5 months flat. Don't you cry. We were open to adopting a sibling group. So Liam came with his brother came at 5 months later. So we got Liam in March, and James came 5 months later. And it's funny, when their names first came up to us, we were also approached about another group of children, and we decided not to put our names in for Liam and James. We put our names in for these other children. And I felt funny about that, and I said, Lord, if we're meant to have our names put forth for these 2 boys, then bring their names back around. And sure enough, about a month later, we were told we were not approved for this other family. They were already gone to someone else. Didn't Liam and James' names come forth again? This was it. We were meant to have them. And then, that was in August of 2009. In June of 2010, we were informed that birth mother was expecting and that the baby would be born in July. So we had a month's notice of this. We were approached to be the child's foster family because they knew the child would be apprehended. So this would be our boy's biological brother. And we went away for a weekend and came back to be informed that the baby was born on the weekend, July 3rd, which is the feast of St. Thomas the Apostle, and that we were approved to be the foster family and that the baby would be on our doorstep in a half an hour. Talk about a fast delivery. That was fast.
Wow. Talk about an induced delivery. Yeah.
And his name is Thomas.
So from 0 to 3 in 60 seconds, it feels like, from 0 to 3. And they're really special boys. I see them at Mass all the time, and I hear them at Mass all the time. My favorite part is when they get to the bell, you ding when Mass is supposed to start, but they usually get to it, midway through the homily or something. It's my favorite part, when they start ringing the bell. They're great boys. They're a handful, obviously, and you're trying to bring them up in the Catholic faith. 3 young children, young parents yourselves. How do you respond to a talk like the bishop's last night? Obviously, you respond to God's call in your life to love unconditionally by bringing these boys into your home. But as a young family, as loving people, how do you respond to the bishop's talk last night?
I think one of the things that you said that we've been, like the bishop said it too, those that are here are meant to be here. I like what he said about that. And like you said, we've been called to be the children, our children's parents, for our children, I mean. And there was so much that the bishop said that it's, you're sort of looking at it, wow. Because each time he spoke of something, it was more and more, because he talked about the fire, it's something that we all, like you say, we have 3 children, so we have to sort of find things in Mass that makes the children fired up. Because it's hard. It's hard for children to sit for an hour and not be able to do anything. Books only last about 10 seconds, so there's I don't know. Is there something?
Oh.
I think there's so much.
What Rick and I were talking about in the van on the way over, what stuck out for us especially was to live authentically. That's very important, because this day and age, if we are living authentically, there must be something to it, because we're going against the grain. We're swimming upriver. So if someone can see that we're living an authentic Catholic Christian life, then they can say, well, there must be something to this. And with 3 boys, and they're busy, and everyone says, you look so calm. Inside we're stewing. But we have to do that. And on our wall, we have a deco that quotes Joshua, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." And we see this every day. And we always question ourselves, what does it mean to serve the Lord? And it keeps us in check, definitely.
Well, I think you're doing a great job. You should give them a hand. These guys are amazing. Well, we could talk all day about the struggles of young children at Mass, but we won't do that. I'll give you the last word, and then we'll invite up maybe our last witness. Anything else to say, or that you want the people to know about your story, or about what you heard last night?
I guess, like, also what the bishop was saying about our own personal, and Bill, thank you very much, Bill. Like, our personal relationship with the Lord is the most important. We have to gather as a community and to build up each one's personal relationship. We have to do that. Myself, I went to the men's weekend there a few weeks back, and it's something that I enjoy going to because it's a build up, and it's each time I do something like that, and this Ignite, it's something it's continually building up my personal relationship, and it's also continuing building up my community relationship. So it's helping in so many different ways and so many times, and I think we're just blessed to have someone like John and someone like the bishop that support this, that make these things happen, that encourage us and help us. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Leah, so much. Aren't they great? Give them a hand.